Now students, let us see some basic elements of the jigs and fixture. Number one is body. So body of jig and fixture is or should be rigid enough to withstand with the forces acting during the machining operation. It should also absorb the vibration induced during the machining. Then we are having the locating elements, clamping elements. Then for the jig we are having the tool guiding elements, and for the fixtures we are having the tool setting elements. Now let us see the fundamental requirements for locating, supporting and clamping. The very important principle we are using in the locating, that is 3 to 1 principle or method of location. So see here, if you consider this workpiece that we are using in the machining operation as a the body in a free body in a space, then this body is having total 12 degrees of freedom. See, 6 are the degrees of freedom for translation and 6 are for rotation. See here, along this x axis we are having positive x and negative x axis movement, that is the translation. In along y axis we are having this 2 degrees of freedom of translation, and same way in the z axis, that is 2 degrees of freedom for translation. So total 6 translation degrees of freedom, whereas this body or the component can be rotating in clockwise as well as in anti-clockwise direction along all these three axes. So clockwise and anti-clockwise rotation along this x-axis, then clockwise and anti-clockwise rotational movement along y-axis, and clockwise and anti-clockwise movement along this z-axis. So we can say that the free body in a space having the 12 degrees of freedom. Now here we are going to arrest the degrees of freedom for this component by putting these three pins at in this plane. See here, this pin number 1, 2, 3. This is showing here pin number 1, 2 and 3. This is front view, this is top view, this is side view. Now this, because of these three pins, or we can say the supporting pins, or because of these pads, so when we are using these three pins where on which the component is placed, so because of these three pins the downward movement along this z axis is restricted, and object cannot rotate along this x as well as in this y direction. So both these clockwise and anti-clockwise rotations are restricted in x and y axis. So these are total 4 degrees of freedom and one translation movement along this z axis. So in negative z direction the component is not translating. So because of C, only placing these three pins below this component, we have restricted one translational movement as well as four rotational movements along x and y axis. So total, so just introduction of these three pins, we have arrested this 5 degrees of freedom. Now for remaining 7 degrees of freedom, we have the plane perpendicular. See, we are having this plane perpendicular to these three pins. Okay, in that we are introducing these two pins, that pin number 4 and pin number 5. Okay, see here in the top you are seeing these two pins which is perpendicular this to this three pin plane. Okay, now I am having these two pins perpendicular to the 3 pin plane. The movement along this negative x direction is arrested because of this two plane. Okay, and now we Now also object cannot be rotated along this z direction because of these two pins in clockwise as well as in anti-clockwise direction. So we can say by the introduction of two pins 4 and 5, the object cannot rotate in clockwise and anti-clockwise direction along z axis, and it also cannot move along the negative x-axis, isn't it? So total 3 degrees of freedoms are arrested by putting these two pins. Okay, so till now initially we arrested 5 degrees of freedom by these 3 pins. Now to again 3 number of degrees of freedom because of these 2 pins. So totally 8 degrees of freedoms are arrested. Now we are again introducing one more pin perpendicular to this 3 and 3 pin plane and 2 pin plane, that is this plane. So this is C, the pin number 6 now we are introducing. Now because of this pin number 6, the object cannot be moved in the negative y direction. Okay, so in that fashion we have arrested total how many degrees of freedom? 9 degrees of freedom we have arrested. And now we are left with 3 degrees of freedom that are still going to be arrested. Now if you consider this part or object is taking for the machining operations, out of these 3 remaining degrees of freedom, 2 degrees of freedom will be used for loading and unloading of the component, and the remaining 1 degree of freedom is used for the tool movement. So during actual machining process, the 2 degrees of freedom left for loading and unloading is arrested by using the clamping element, and the 1 degree of freedom for the tool movement is arrested by the cutting force acting during the machining operation. So that during the machining operation, all these 12 degrees of freedom will be arrested. Okay, so this is the 3 to 1 principle. 3 to 1 principle method of location. So we are using the supporting pins or the resting pins or the buttons or pads. First one we are having these flat or support pin, okay, or flat locator, you can simply say. See here the type of locator actually used for locating the flat machined faces of the component. This is a flat support pin. Okay, then we are also using the spherical support pin. See, this is the support pin, this is the workpiece, and this is getting into the jig or fixture body. This is a fixture body, this is our pin, this is our workpiece. So let us see some locating methods and devices. So the locators are those parts of the jig or fixture which helps to workpiece to sit in a proper position, where in the jig or in the fixture. These are the locators. So which are giving the proper position for the workpiece to sit inside the jig or fixture body. Okay, these are the locators. So depending upon the type of work, the locators are designed. The various locating devices and methods are shown in the next slide. So first one, see, we have a pin and bottom locators. See here. So here the button is used to support the job firmly and holds it in the position. So only difference between the pin and the button locators are the difference of the length. The length of the button is smaller than the pin. Okay, so only the difference of the length between the pin and button locator is that about the length. So the button generally used for the vertical locations, whereas the pins are generally used for the horizontal locations. Now see here, I have shown here the flat, spherical and conical locators. So the flat locators are employed for locating the flat machine face of the component. Okay, so here the component is bearing directly on the machine face of the jig body, and an undercut is provided at the bottom of for the removal of the swarf or the swarf clearance. Some undercut is provided. Okay, then for the cylindrical locators, the it is employed for locating the components having the drilled holes. We will see it in the next slide. So here the different types of pins used for the location or locating are cylindrical locating pins, conical locating pins, supporting pins or flay pins, adjustable pin locators, diamond pin locators, and V locators. So see here cylindrical locating pins. This is the cylindrical locator. Okay, this is the workpiece and this is the work table. So undercut is provided just now I told you for the swarf clearance, that is removal of the swarf or chips. So cylindrical pins used to locate a workpiece from a hole produced by a previously drilled hole or previous operations. The locating diameter of the pin is made a push fit with the hole in the workpiece. Okay, so the top portion of these pins is given a sufficient lead by chamfering. See here, this is a lead of this pin. Next is the conical locating pins. The locators are these conical locators are preferred over the cylindrical, where it is necessary to accommodate in the diameter of the workpiece without affecting the accuracy of location. So this is the conical locating pins. Then we are having these supporting pins or the flat locators. Just now in the beginning I talk about the flat locators. So these are employed for locating the flat machine the faces of the components. So in the figure, the component is bearing directly or the workpiece is bearing directly on the machined face of the jig body, and undercut is provided. For what reason the undercut is provided? I already told you at the bottom. See here, the undercut is provided for the swarf clearance. Okay, so this is supporting pieces by supporting pins from a flat surface. Pins are fitted into the jigs or fixture body with the interference fit. Okay, so see this is the location by the horizontal button type jig, and this is the location by vertical button type. Okay, then we are having the adjustable pin locators. So for this we are having that, see, adjustable pin locators are used when the surface is rough or uneven, such as in casting, forgings, or non-machined surfaces. So where this adjustable pin locator is used as far as the rough or uneven surfaces are there in our machining operation, such as in casting, forging, and non-machined surfaces. See, this is the adjustable knob, and this is the lock nut, and this is our jig body. Then the diamond pin locators are there. They are locating by two hole and locating by one hole. We are having the diamond pin locators. So the diamond pins are often used for radial location, as you can see in the diagram. Okay, so basically the cylindrical locators arrest 5 degree of freedom, which is also termed as the principal locator. And if you use the second cylindrical locator here, this is one pin and this is the another pin, that is the diamond pin. So say this is position A and this is position B. So the locator at the position B will arrest the 6 degree of freedom. Okay, so the construction for this, the round pin and the diamond pin locator is shown in this diagram. Okay, Then next locator is our V locator. So the V locators are basically used widely for locating a cylindrical surfaces from the outside. The V locators are classified into two types. One is fixed V locator, second one is adjustable type V locator. In adjustable type V locators, we are having cam operated adjustable type V locator. Okay, so here we are having this fixed V locator. See here, this is our V locator, and the cylindrical workpiece is located here. These are the dowel pins, and this is the aligning screw for this V locator. Okay, and see here in the adjustable V type locator, so one jaw is stationary for the V and another is moving. So this is the movable jaw for this V locator. So the sliding V block may be actuated by means of this hand screw knob, and we can get the locating of this workpiece here. Then we are having the bush locators. The shaft type workpieces can be easily located in the hardened steel bushes, and the bushes can be the, see this is the plane. So see here bush is here. This bush may be the plain or flange type bush. Okay, so this is our work, and this is placed in this located by using this bushes. Okay, it may be plain bush or it may be the flange type bush.